morning and welcome to another edition of In the Kitchen with Kathy. Today we're going to make sausage gravy. This is a request from my friend Erin Danielle Fox on Facebook. We've actually been friends for a really long time, and so anyway, she was mentioning yesterday that she was going to make some gravy for her son, and it didn't turn out so well. So I figured I'll give her a tutorial on how to make sausage gravy. So normally I would use just a roll of sausage, like a pound, and maybe do about half of it. But I didn't have any of the rolls, so today I'm just going to use some sausage that's in the patties already. And I'm using my husband's new cast iron pan from the Pampered Chef. And I gotta say, this is the first time I've ever actually liked a cast iron pan. It's not heavy like most cast iron pans usually are. And check out these handles. These are awesome for going in the oven and doing everything you need to do without it being very awkward with the long handle on one side, short handle on the other. So anyway, we're gonna turn our oven on, or our stove on. I usually do about high to start off with. My sausage patties are just partially thawed, so hopefully it won't take too long to cook those. And so we're going to get these heated up, and I'll be right back after they're all ready to go. Okay, we're back, and I've got the sausage all sizzling here, and we're going to just keep stirring that until it's all completely cooked. It shouldn't take long since there's not much in there. So we'll just keep this going. And my sausage that I have is hot sausage, but you could certainly use it whatever breakfast sausage that you like. And it actually does not have a whole lot of grease in it, so we're going to be having to add a little bit more fat to it whenever we add the flour to make our gravy. And to chop it up really well, I use this Mix and Chop by the Pampered Chef. Absolutely one of the most wonderful tools that I think I have in my kitchen. It's great for breaking up ground beef whenever you're cooking anything with beef in it. It's great for, like, if you're making egg salad, just chop it up and it's done in just a minute. So anyway, we're going to have to add a little bit more fat to this, as I said, because there is not a lot of grease at all in this. This must have been a skinny pig, because he is not very greasy at all. So anyway, I think we're about there, so we will add a little bit extra grease to it. And if you're a southerner at all, you will know what is in this jar. If you're not a southerner, it's bacon grease. Anytime a southerner fixes bacon, they save that bacon grease for adding it to things like this. So we're going to add this big old heaping spoonful of bacon grease to this. And I don't measure anything, Erin, so just kind of eyeball it. I'm saying probably maybe a couple of tablespoons, maybe 3 at the most is what you'll need as far as fat for making the gravy. We're going to say 3 tablespoons. So about 3 tablespoons of fat. And you can do this if you don't have sausage as well. Just throw the grease in there. About 3 tablespoons. And then we're going to add about 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Just directly onto the sausage in the pan. Well, maybe not all of that. We'll get this all mixed in here. And we're going to let it cook a little bit because you don't want it to have that raw flour taste either. So we're going to kind of let this flour cook for just a minute in here. And then we'll start adding our milk. And I use whole milk pretty much for everything, because a lot of my recipes call for whole milk, and I really don't like skim milk at all, or less % milk, because to me it just doesn't really cook up as well. But if you're on a diet, go for it, you know. Heck, you could probably even use almond milk. I've never actually done that, but I've made almond milk, but I haven't actually made gravy with it. So just your personal choice. And then we're going to start adding milk a little bit at a time. And I'm going to turn this down probably to about medium. And we're just going to keep adding milk. And stirring with our whisk so that we don't get lumps. And we don't want to add too much milk at a time though till it gets, you add a little bit of milk, let it thicken, add a little bit more, let it thicken until you get the amount of gravy that you want. And this is getting thick here, so we're going to add a little bit more milk. Keep stirring. And we're going to season this with a little bit of salt and pepper, which, like I said, my sausage itself has a lot of pepper in it, so I'm not going to add a whole lot of pepper, but I am definitely going to add some. So I've got some fresh cracked pepper that I'm going to add to it. And a little bit of salt, just a pinch. I'd say this is probably maybe about a half a teaspoon. I've been doing this a long time, so I don't measure anything, so it's just an eyeball kind of thing. Oh yeah, and that's getting really nice and thick, so we're going to add a little bit more milk. So just keep stirring, keep stirring. And I'm going to give this a little bit of a taste, make sure I've got it seasoned properly. Because as Gordon Ramsay says, you have to taste everything. Oh yeah, perfect. So anyway, just going to stir it a little bit more here. And we have our gravy. I think it's done. Yeah, I think I'll put a little bit more cracked pepper in there because I like pepper. I grew up in a household, we had a lot of pepper, homemade, homegrown peppers. My dad makes some really wonderful hot pepper sauce. And so growing up with peppers, I like pepper. My grandmother, my mama, she used to have everything just blackened with pepper. So that's kind of how I like things, just black with pepper. So anyway, there is our gravy. I don't know if you can see that well enough, but I keep forgetting that cast iron pans get a little on the hot side. But anyway, so we've got our gravy. It's nice and thick, but not too thick. So anyway, that is our tutorial on making sausage gravy. Hope that helps, Erin. Okay, now we're going to make our biscuits to go with our sausage gravy. So in my mixing bowl here, I have probably about 3-4 cups maybe of flour. Now we're probably not going to use all that in the biscuits. We're going to make a little well with our hand here. And we're going to put some of our grease in here. I need to grab a spoon real quick. So we're going to use just vegetable shortening in this. Some people actually use cold butter in their biscuits. I was taught to use shortening, just vegetable shortening, or lard. If you've got lard, that's really good. My mama used to make all her biscuits with actual lard. And then we're going to take and kind of mix up the shortening along with our flour till we get the little crumbly mix going on. I know y'all can't really see this real well in the video, but just kind of mix up your shortening. And yes, I'm using my hands because that's how I was taught. You know, I didn't have a pastry cutter back when I was young. Still don't. Actually, I used to have one, but it doesn't get the job done near as quickly and easily as my hands. So we're going to start adding milk a little bit at a time like we did with our gravy. Just kind of mix it up till you get a little soft dough formed. Like I said, we don't want to over mix either. Don't want to mix too much milk in because we don't want to make too much right now. Alright, so I've started getting the little ball of dough going here. I'm going to take a little bit more flour and sprinkle it on my pastry mat here to roll it out. And yes, I know I'm getting a lot of flour all over me. It happens. How else are you going to know I've been cooking, right? So we're going to just dump our dough out onto the table here. Set this over here out of the way. We're just going to kind of knead it a little bit. Kind of make sure all of it's together. And I hear Honey walking around me here hoping that I'm going to drop something in the floor for her. Because that's what she does. She follows me around every step I make just waiting on me to drop something. Which usually happens because I'm clumsy. So we're going to press our dough out kind of flat, and you could certainly use a dough roller for this, but you know, it's not rocket science. It's pretty easy. Don't need that. So I couldn't find a biscuit cutter, so what I'm going to do is use a canning lid. This is a wide mouth canning lid, so we can have them cat head size biscuits. And I'm actually going to cook my biscuits in my new air fryer, aka Henry. Yes, I named my appliances. My air fryer is Henry. And of course, some of you may already know my blender over here, she's Olivia. So we're going to just cut our biscuits out and move them over here to our little tray for our air fryer. And I didn't make a whole lot of dough because Joe really doesn't eat a whole lot of biscuits, really. He's not as fond of biscuits as I am. So we're probably just going to have one tray of biscuits here from the looks of it. So I've got enough here to make one more big old biscuit for our pan. And just shake off the excess flour so you don't have clumps of flour stuck all over your biscuits. And there's probably enough here for one more biscuit. So let's see if I can make space here and get them all on one pan. So anytime there's a little bit of dough left over, you just wad it all up in a ball and kind of shape it like a biscuit. So yep, we got just enough room for that biscuit there. So we're going to take a break. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and get the biscuits in the air fryer and get them going, and then we'll take a break and we'll be back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cook these in the air fryer for probably 12 minutes on air fry, which is 400 degrees. We're just going to put it right in the middle. We're going to pull it out from underneath the cabinet. And we're going to do 12 minutes, and we'll turn the pan around at the halfway point. So there you have it, y'all. Biscuits and sausage gravy. And once the biscuits are done, I'll come back and show you how it looks after they're done. See you in a minute. And we're back, and our biscuits are perfectly done, and it only actually took 10 minutes in the air fryer. And look at those, perfectly browned on top. They are beautiful and they smell delicious, and I can't wait to have them tonight for our breakfast for supper night tonight. So anyway, that's the conclusion of today's In the Kitchen with Kathy. See y'all next time. And hashtag eat something good.